And listen. 1, I look great. But 2, it'd be perfect. But the frickin' hair clip was giving me a headache. So just know that in a moment you will see the vision. But for the sake of my brain, hello, Yuli Whispers, hello. For the sake of my brain, I had to sacrifice so much. I'm gonna get back to playing Ace Attorney at some point. I've been in such an Ace Attorney kind of mood because I've been watching Ansta and Karina play great Ace Attorney, which is so important to me. But I was looking at demos and I found this one, and it's kind of like, hey, what it kind of like Phoenix Wright, but what if you're a hot lead? And I'm like, that sounds okay. You have my interest. Okay, you have my attention. So, alright, you guys can listen to the dope music while I set everything else up. This is how you're meant to do it. You start, and then you set it up. I'm very professional. I'm about to be as professional as the character I'm playing, so I think that, you know what? It's realism. Oh my god, she's so hot. I just saw the preview. Oh, stream. She's so hot. Okay. Yes, I want one of these, but small, please. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then I want you, but small. No, it's easier to get you from here. Streaming, it is so hard. Yeah, that works. Greetings, Jedi. All right. So you see the vision. You see the vision. The hair up with the clip, and then the stuff, and you see the vision. You can't really see. You see the vision, yeah. But headache, and also I only find smoking attractive in video games or other media. So, sorry. My realism can only go so far. Anyway. This is a demo, but it's also like chapter 0 or something, so I don't actually know how long it is. I played it for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, I like this very much, actually. So I decided that I want to try playing it on the stream. Alright, so, yes, episode 0. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambiance. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and a constant noise. This city's got insomnia with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. 'Cause if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. She's so... See now, okay, I see we have a noir protagonist narrator. Do you see why? Do you see why? She's so hot, dude. Look how tired she looks. She's so hot. You guys just... Noria's probably busy, but just tell her that she's so hot. Anyway. This client of mine's gonna die in jail. Morgan. Criminal attorney. Aye, aye, Captain. Thank you. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadow of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen. There's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. She's so hot, dude. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Dude. She's so hot. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try! I love her. I love her so much, so much. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are about to get busy. Of the Devil, Episode 0. And he shall appear. I'm just thinking about the Joffrey bit where they're trying to not use the phrase to come, meaning to appear, but, it's only about Joy's delivery. It reminds me of Lucy Lawless when she's doing an American accent. Lucy Lawless, thank you very much. Okay, now you've got me on a whole other woman I'm gay for. This is... someone's life is at stake here. The courtroom is in shambles. Anyway. I want tutorials. I've not played very far in this game. Ooh. Ooh. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. with nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You'd think they'd treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. Ain't that the damn truth? So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon in the top left to access the pause menu where you can save, load, or check settings. Toggle, blah, 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 blah. Look for points of interest so you can check to investigate. I know that I just said I'm keeping the tutorials and now I'm immediately skipping them, but I did read some of them. So basically, yes, don't go broke. So I should look at everything, because it can tell me things. A data pad? I'll bite. Even when they're more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Okay, so they're like, you need to read, and then you need to figure out, like, what the gist of the article is. So I'm not reading all of this right now, because I already did. Because it's a lot. But from what I remember, the subway flooded, and they're like, yeah, we gave up on the subway a long time ago. We're just gonna officially say we're not doing it anymore. And so now there's like a thing called a canopy, which is, I guess, over the city. And they're like, we're gonna do that instead. It's like in Pacific Rim when they're talking about either the Jaeger program or the wall program. The shitty one. And so they're like, okay, we're talking about the canopy. Seawall, yeah, that one. Ballsy of them, putting the paywall there. Oh no, I skipped the joke. Fuck, I forgot. You scroll through the article, and it's like, they make you read so much shit. And then they're like, we got a quote from the, like, president of the company or whatever. And then mid-quote, the article cuts off, and it's like, you have reached the last of your free articles. You have to pay to get the full story. They're very... Subtlety isn't what they're going for right now. As if I'd reached for my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on the canopy. Look at her. This might be more Persona, but because I played this game when I was a child, it's giving Disgaea vibes in a really good way. If Disgaea made interesting characters again. Anyway, I'm not bitter at all. There will be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget. Lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment. Not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Inspect! High-traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishings, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it could teach freshman-level architecture. I can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard-to-right angles. The civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. But walking in here now, with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably had lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Didn't you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah 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 blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. There's no room to sow doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. So this is... I love the writing, first of all. This is our first glimpse at what the fuck does a modded witness mean? Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. I think that's it here. Yep. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably null the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you will always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of Silver Plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus, as a reward for any... Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Okay, now I need to think of a second voice. It booted up fine. So far, so good. Good morning. Morgan, here for the public defender contract.
Could you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand still for a moment.
I wouldn't call Intake Hollows charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their tech, so long as it never speaks out of turn.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth?
So far, so good, was it? Scan my card. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card?
Great! Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me?
Why do they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. So this is the part, like, in Phoenix Wright, where it's like, what's the name of the victim? And it's like, Phoenix, do you know how to look in your bag at the evidence? No problem. My birthday's... So I just know. But because I did it before. But the options are October 25th, November 16th, and December 26th. And the answer is... I guess it really wasn't Christmas because it's December 26th. December 26th.
Perfect! Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to counseling quarter 3C.
Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room?
I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards.
Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they... Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection, dully warped across gunmetal walls.
Morgan Counselor? Can I help you with anything else?
Choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. Choices that will take the conversation down side paths and before returning to this point will not. Because of the article you read earlier, because we're literate, you've unlocked an additional choice in this dialogue. Read everything and blah 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 blah. So, we unlocked why the disrepair. I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty?
This facility is currently undergoing renovations.
Since when? The 60s?
It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated.
They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they?
I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have encountered.
I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack?
Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work.
Well, that's all that matters, right? Alright. Last time, I was like, that's all. Because this is a really rude question, but also, I love her design, and I want to talk to her more, because I love the art in this game. What are you?
I'm a smart user interface proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages?
No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. Aw. That'll be all, thank you.
You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office through the door to your right.
Thanks. But I think it's just me for now, so you could go on break if you'd like.
Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor.
Then what were you doing before I walked in?
You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office.
Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Okay. I get the feeling the desk hologram is supposed to be like a large language model using predictive text rather than a person, like, say, the Doctor on Voyager. But I don't know. Can we, like... Does she have a soul? Can she be our friend? Can we help her? But also, y'all can hear the bitchin' music, right? It looks like you should be able to. but let me know if something is like too loud or something. Oh, I skipped. Oh, right. I have to commit to voices now. But I don't know which one is speaking. We hear the music. Nice. Awesome. Eyes gone... Okay. Eyes gone bad or something. A voice. No, voices coming from down the hall. Compared to yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate... Okay, now I have to... Now I have to commit. Because Nat... But of course I want to appreciate you. Okay. Can I get to the accent I want in time? Appreciate you worrying about me. Not quite there yet. Forbid I try to be serious. While the other rings with youthful indignation. Oh, I did not give youthful indignation on that one. It's not like our job's important or anything. Definitely cops. A cab. And at this precinct, at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. I can't see. Baby-dee-bee-dee. Desk girl feels there's no war, bossing saying, you're right. Oh, Nanami. Bro. I wish. No, I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. I've forgotten how to do a basic thing. And... Oh. No, that's not what I wanted. This is better. Oh, yes, if I just do this and then I click the thing that... Nope. You know what? Okay, we ball. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. I'm lost. It's all in good fun. Anyway. I missed the thing. One document, or 100, looks the same on a datapad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? You know what? Actually? I could buy it. This supports my Navi Knobs is trans headcanon. And I support that. Look how cute they are. And they're like matching. Like they gave him her highlight color. It's so cute. No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh, okay. I played a little bit past this my first time, and literally I got to this part and I was like, I don't know which one of these the game thinks is the good cop. I have my guess now, though. And now I think I'm wrong, but I'm gonna just go with it. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. I guessed right. I love it. Good cop is question mark. Bad cop, no question mark. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Fuck. Okay, to be fair, I don't think I probably would want to change the accent I'm doing anyway. Cassim, London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Ahem. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Cassim. Yeah. Yeah. But also, they call him London. So I mostly call him that. Which is also funny to me because I notoriously have a character named English. I'm just like, oh no, there's no... I just think it's a neat name. In like a fantasy setting where it has nothing to do with the actual place. Anyway. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouse before. I don't like how the... Like, this is... I just don't like how they drew this. It's not that the look is bad, it's just this part. I'm just like... But, like... It is... It still works. He never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Actually, wait, don't they say the exact same shit about Korn? That, like, the fact he's been there so goddamn... Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene? No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Definitely not Navi then, yes, true. It's giving more cheery or Angua. Look around. Actually, yeah, wasn't Angua like really... Well, she was very defensive when she got introduced, and so she was very critical of some things. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. This is me thinking. I may as well bite at this point. So, you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Look at her eyes. She looks so cool, dude. Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. Look at her eyes, dude. And we've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I hate that the oh my god, no, this happened last time. There's a part in the song that sounds like a phone vibrating on a desk, and I keep thinking someone's like calling me. The music in this game. Anyway. I love how creaturey she looks. Reyes. Like, they got the eye patch and got the, like, that very, like, rodentia. Like, he's more, like, dog-coded, or... But they just did some really cool lighting stuff, and I accidentally kind of went past it. But I also love how you can see, like, how her silhouette changed. It's so good. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. That's also me! Let's get a line read on that again. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, he'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under. Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK. Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks, their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flipping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. Good life advice. Do this, ask for a lawyer, say nothing. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. One bullet, straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls. Do they usually, like, do something to him afterwards? Isn't it normal, like, alright. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. How do they know that? How is that knowable information? Like, is that a thing you can know? Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Oh, right. ACAB. Alright. We're almost to where I stopped. So in mine I said that sounds robotic because of the accuracy and shit. But so I'm curious which one I want to do right now. The one shot to the heart and left to lie there doesn't come across as a particularly exotic. So why not call this guy the sniper or something? Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna do robotic again. It speaks to me. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it's not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. I'm sure this will not... I'm sure this will age in a lovely way. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. But they don't commit murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. That's a pretty terrifying thought. Man, I thought about making a killer drone reference. Didn't think the game would go there. Yeah, this game is spicy. This spicy. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. I can blame myself for whatever the fuck I want. First of all. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago. When we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime? That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? Because being a literal counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. I love the art, though. I love it. It's awful, but I love it. I love it. I think it's good. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. The number one thing any character needs to be. Compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there is. It's all there in the discovery files. And the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, can I ask you two some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? I switched into his accent. Australian accents are the most infectious if you're trying to switch between voices. Australian, it's really easy to latch onto once you get into it, but then it's really hard to let go of. We're at your disposal, counsel. Okay, I think that was as far as I went before, so let's inspect. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote of personalization. Is she so new she hasn't had time to unpack? Or is she really that uptight and boring? Look at their little cut-its, they're so cute! Oh, was I supposed to be looking at something a second ago? I can look at profiles, I can look at me! Oh yeah, look, it's me! It's us, guys! Occupation, criminal defense attorney, likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture, dislikes, commercials, hairdressers, jogging, talent, can fall asleep in any position, coffee, decaf, drink, whiskey sour. And that's us. That's a scamp. October 19th, but do they tell me how, like, old you are? Bad at games of chance. Right eye, Osiris Elite 86. What the fuck? Joy's watching product. You're a funny one. It's giving! Shaggy listens to podcasts. Yeah, you didn't have to tell me. Dislikes after hours work messages. He said join a union. Pencil sketching. Frequently running late. May 5th. The freaking tone of the music is okay. No, just right. Yes. What's that? Oh, I'm not gonna look at all that. Oh, I'm supposed to look at all that, aren't I? Data pads. Ooh, cool. Listen, I'm down to read some shit, but it's gotta have a cute character saying it. Otherwise, I do not care. Both, maybe. I forgot what they were talking about, so. Alright. So is this a different inspection? Did they get rid of the first one? You shouldn't have cleaned up so much for just a little me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system. or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. Both. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper. I'll give him that. The tension, y'all. I've read this before. Loose wires, missing panels, an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They've got a stunning clearance rate, and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, what with our dear, doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. I've gone all over the place on her voice, but yike. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. A dumping ground for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Aww, that's you guys! She's talking about you guys! I do love an unambitious. You should have been giving the protagonist an English accent this whole time. Who knows what I'm. Oh. I don't want to read. Okay. I'm gonna trust the game and trust that if I just read the yellow, that will be enough. I'm gonna trust that. Surging sales of the Animate 16 Noble Electronics stock rose a stunning 3%. Scroll, please. Scroll. The first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components. Oh no. Impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like, alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors. Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records. The work of Noble's famed Leaper. It's because of his Turing solution that every Noble product from the Sleek has been so beloved and trusted by our customers. Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. Hey fam, it looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can help keep you reading? They did the same thing! It's just like real life, dude. Okay, so Noble fucking day. Anime doing well. Okay. He's in the news again. Oh god. It's no wonder. Can't spit without it landing on a piece of noble tech these days. Especially not where the state's involved. To know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For government use, they're just... Oh, no. I wasn't paying attention to any of that bullshit. They're too expensive. It's always too expensive. They're just too expensive to justify. Wait, what am I thinking? No state's ever had a problem with spending money on overpriced crap! Fuck! Oh, frail. Oops. Oopsie. Thank you for doing all of the reading for me, but, I jumped the gun. And I just realized I could do this the whole time. I don't, wait. Okay, maybe I can't do this as much as I wanted to, but whatever. Whatever. I appreciate the, oh no. Okay, there's a button for backlog, and it's L. And now we can look at her some more. She's so cool. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. I've got a better idea of who I'm dealing with, at least. If I make this a little smaller, then it's perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right. Now I need to check out this crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding case KL433511. Oh my god, it's just like an Ace Attorney game. I've got a case file number. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I am an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian? You need to reply C. C. Oh my god. C. Thank you. Link. Alright. If I project from my phone. Wow. I'm projecting. It's too early in the morning for this shit. Oh. Augmented reality crime scene. Whoa. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. I think that's important. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, Class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta, single gunshot wound to the heart, in brief. Death was instantaneous. I wonder if that will be contested at some point. Oh, have I been like off frame this whole time? Or did I just cut myself? I've been a little off frame. Whatever. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood spatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they were fired. A stand-up mirror, shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. So true, bestie. Oh, I can't, like, walk around at all. Seems like this vase got tossed aside at some point. And yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. She got jokes! She's got jokes! She thinks she's funny! Click it. Click. It's pink. Let me click it. It's pink! It's for girls! So let me click it! Oh, is this a separate thing? It is a separate thing. That's the gun. The murder weapon. A revolver. Found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene tech partially disassembled the damn thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. But no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown, and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris? Flag is irrelevant. That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to do. Sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything that the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? Does this matter? The time and stuff? Oh my god. What the hell is that? Something... Holy sh... Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did... It's just a pill organizer. Okay. Looks like some immune adjusters and SAIDs and triprexosone, a synthetic glucocorticoid. There was no way in hell I was getting that one. Come on, I was doing okay. Glucocorticoid medication? Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. That sounds like something like a middle school diss. I should take this to reduce your rejection. No, the autopsy said her talk screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city, and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. I'm sure that will stay true. I believe that. Everything else here is also very incriminating. But the kicker is everything's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Was that a hint at me? Were there crumbs? Well, I've done more with less before. Multiple murderers. She could have been poisoned and shot. So true. But not much more. Huh. I'm really gonna have to sing from my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. Red. Currently texting with Brat. What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of fucking course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is like different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Is she like an ant? This is giving ant vibes. Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish! They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomach ache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some shit. Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Oh, it's a fetus. Oh, now the voice. Is that your mugshot? Are they sisters? I wasn't gonna not get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. Use case here. But I'm working right now, so anything cool. Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? I don't know what that's just. Is that the kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Oh, Heartbreak Killer. Right. Heartbreak. Yeah. I remember. I'm doing great, guys. Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like Hearts E.B. is like quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job, lol? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? I certainly would. You taking up lost cause, prob knows work. It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow Sunday, I can stay up if I want. tomorrow is Sunday. Because today's Saturday. What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You've got school in like 3 hours. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. What? I love her. Important text message. I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind me filling in on a few details. I just had a very quaint interaction while y'all just stood there, I guess. At 4 in the morning. Wow. Okay. See how far we get in this. Details. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client? Carlos Baca Flat. I don't know if this game continues on with the like Ace Attorney, lots of pun names thing. Was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Ms. Deanne Dawn. This is just like Ace Attorney. First degree, that's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. City's got damn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 precious bullets, 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So the serial killer shows his victims at random. If they have nothing in common... Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than that they all look like cousins. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. Oh. You really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then you You put the shoe on. What sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to display their violence on people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. I love the first episode of Elementary. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, they'd have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There'd have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend over her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. Ooh. She got mad. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy. But do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we've managed thanks to less biased sources. And we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Whoa, her eye. Oh, that's why it said in her profile, like, her okay, so she's got like a thingy. Thingy. That's so distracting. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us all about the happy couple's domestic problems. Holographic projector for a right eye. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the acts, there was a struggle. Oh, was I supposed to look at that? How long is this? Not long. Okay. Any crime scene data from the apartment. Lossless capture confirms the following. Victim was shot from the room's doorway. No unexpected DNA present. No unexpected crumbs present. No unexpected fingerprints present. No evidence of digital tampering. Okay. Okay. Diane Dawn, 27. Shot through the heart. No connection with previous victims. Do I have anything on the man? Arts data? Nope, that's what I was just looking at. Okay, I no longer care. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the acts, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. But we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right. Emergency services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. But the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrived on the street at 9:08 p.m., established a perimeter enter through the open front door at 9:10 p.m. And then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand? Signa? Your client's modded cybernetic right arm. Oh yes, scrubbing just got added. Oh yeah, it adds little things as we talk about it. I forgot about that. Are you telling me that the guy that I have to defend is recently single and the cyborg? Because that'd be super. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a HOW 85 Habilis. Industrial grade, looks like. Says he's spec'd for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4K PA, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Can he do other things? Are there other things he can do? What are 3 other facts about him? Asking for a friend. Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just... your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it. Money got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance they'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver. And no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54. 6-chambered, 10mm. Calver? How retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How's that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah. 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safety's coded to own biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? How else do you think they've gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's Model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Okay. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and a few are still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that old are marked. Bleh. Bullets fired from guns that old are marked by the barrel shape. So, if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. Bro, this... I think it's a setup. Without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. I beg to differ. An untagged gun? Just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize, then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend. And then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his affect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. And so long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. The writing in this game is really good. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes as a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, Detective. National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crimes at an all-time low, and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you gotta spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point! London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. But pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged. And that makes them predictable. Yeah, well,
Even if there's something standard about HK, department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. I sincerely doubt that about everything being safer. Yeah. I also do. I'm also interested in what she was trying to convey with that. So I have no idea if she believes that. I doubt it. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. Opt-in? How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance systems signing up to feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts. And the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You'd need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. Whoa, a serial killer is actually involved in law enforcement? They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. I really want to see what he looks like. I really want to see what he looks like before we end stream. So does he work construction for the city? Noria. Bro. This is bait for me. They're trying to catch me. HK's only ever struck at times and locations where Optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed... Yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. This is just like the first case of Ace Attorney. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics. She's so cute. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes.
But HK's the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only the reason we even called him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. It's like the Sherlock Holmes movie where he was doing all of the fake cult murders. They were real cult murders, but the reasoning for them was fake. Yeah. So is my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Lord Blackwood! Yes! Why did that go away? Okay. Were you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some execs, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. I don't think you're allowed to talk about jostling someone's keystone on Twitch. Alright, last one. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd at least be a few androids around. Aren't many androids in any police stations this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping, at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks to Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids? Warm, yeah. Warm, yuck. Might as well call it the adult line. Ew. Might see him in the bigger department stores or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Is that a challenge? Guess we should be expecting those any day now. Maybe android lawyers too. Get some android politicians in and we'd have the full set. Get real. People like ads who do what they're told. But they despise ads who tell them what to do. I'm not so sure. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She needn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly gonna have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk? Woo! Definitely not the safest time in history, then.
Well, that's, unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? I've been getting ready. I've been getting ready to defend this person, and there's been a potential confession this whole time. And you didn't tell me? Did the confession have blood all over it? Confession written after the murder? Like, bro. Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Oh. Okay, I want to know what... I want to see what he looks like. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first. But I was hurting, wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That's sad. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for a representation. One sec, let me just... I don't know how to get rid of that spam. I'm bad at Twitch. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is some bullshit. It doesn't matter. I've got a game to play. I want to see what he looks like. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, cancel it. With all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in handcuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me? How chivalrous.
Yeah, my arm is practically blinding. Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. I have no reason to lie to you about this. I have no weighted interest in the outcome. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. His color palette changed. What a cool thing! That's such a cool... That's so cool! He turned green! Putting it in another way, he's made the state look bad. My color palette changed! That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not gonna like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Uh-oh, the player character is suddenly a brunette. Oh no! Oh shit! Yes, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from... well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty. That much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the Heartbreak Killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. 3:35 a.m., June 5th, 2086. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ah! Hi! Oh my god, hi! How old are you? It's depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. Her strut, I'm gonna... She's so cool, dude! I love the art. It's so cool, dude. Dude. His girlfriend was 27, so presumably mid-20s. What's up? Wait, is he literally... Cyborg with like a missing arm? It's for me! It's for me! He's got a fucking dog tag. Bro, Ah! Carlos Flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night. What are you... Oh, now I gotta think of a... What voice to give him? I could try for... No. Look, I already told you people. I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Oh, I'm tempted to... It's just my default for... admin. Do I want to give him a voice? Or is this gonna be very sad and I shouldn't give him a voice? Could he work with an Irish accent? Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here. Keep repeating it the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side, and they thought that I could have, It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Good lessons in this game so far. Okay. So what do you want to know? Oh, I want to know all about you. Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded, rote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job, and Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in City Engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty... I got so distracted by his character design and thinking about Kotallo from Horizon Forbidden West. Give a man a mechanical arm. Who needs a personality if you have a mechanical arm? Who gives a shit? I love Kotallo. He's incredibly well written, but also he has a mechanical arm and it's very cool. Oh no, I lost the... Help. There you are. Okay, so I'm gonna look in the backlog. He works in City Engineering, not a desk job. Rand said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. Based on his shoulder, I'd say it has to be pretty... I have no idea. Whatever. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs cause they like it the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses, and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday. Present test results, politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. Did I misread something? Yeah, I don't even have a brother, okay? What the fuck is happening? That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I'd start at all, I'd start small. A hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked at the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Oh, canopy! We were hearing about that. Typical stuff for modders, you know. He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy? You must be under a lot of pressure. You must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight. And this crap with Long? Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is gonna come knocking if they misplace as much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't using pus out of my sockets or anything. Then, do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts on his face are just from shaving? Never thought this would go on so long I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said, an easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hand when you're on this job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm. and watch my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where did you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no. I have found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. Wow. Jesus Christ. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself, just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white knuckle tight. Oh my god. This man's living in hell. Hindi. How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines. I'd lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in the city again. And this was last quarter. Maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill ya. I feel like that's such a... If for any reason you read literature that gets into characters who have lost a limb, that talking about that it's not the pain, it's the itch. I feel like I've heard that before, and every time that activates something in my brain that's like, it's a very visceral feeling for something I have no, reference for. My impression that this is not the safest time in history is not exactly going contradicted by any of this. Yeah! You're not wrong! And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm-shaped attached to me. He's so sad. He reminds me of Katalo. I love Katalo. Maybe I can find him. I want to find him. I want to find him without doxing myself. Cause he's my favorite. Oh my god. God, wanting to replay this game just for this man. God damn. Now let's think. And then I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And then I change. No. That's silly. That's a silly way to do it. What I want to do is just save this. Tink. Done. And then I go back in here. And then I just add. And then I add the image. And then yes, add source. New source. Brand new source. We've got them coming in hot. Is this one. Take it. Yeah. Oh no, it's too big. How do I? Okay, well, yeah, I'll get rid of it in a second. How do I get yes. Yes. You can. No, he's even got the, like, the repeating ooh. I'm enjoying this a lot. I don't know why, that there's just something about... Yeah, I want to remove the images. I'm good. I just like thinking about Katala. But the similar level of, like... being trapped in a shitty situation, but... for Katalo, the prosthetic is something that, like, helps, whereas this guy, not really. It sounds like this, kind of sucked the whole way down. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a dead weight, 3-jointed, landfill-based piece of shit. Sorry. It's just... it's a very shitty feeling having parts of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits. It's compatible, technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So were you wearing it when... you were arrested? Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging at the as evidence, so... can't have gotten too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. Oh, he's so cute! No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Great. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out for the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Oh my god, here's the thing about cowardice. Oh my god. Twirl's hair. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to saying past tense. Just finished their post-grad work this year. Got hired right out the gate, practically headhunted, you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company'd be lucky to have her, unlike... it was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No. Perigee Laboratories? I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows 1/3 of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is about as tame as big business can get. Predictably like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes. Corporate politics getting rough. I got lost. This I want, and this I want. Whatever. The victim was the client's girlfriend. This is Phoenix Wright. Like, literally, this is Phoenix Wright. Only if Larry looked like that. He's right-handed and has had issues with his prosthetics since he started wearing them, but he's a perfect shot. Oh, that's a good fucking point. That's interesting. Interesting. I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was. Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Oh. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try Morgan. When you're ready. We were... ghosts. I think that's the name of the song. We were arguing. We'd been arguing a lot lately. Oh my god! I love this. This whole thing is so good. He's so... We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself, but more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, that must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah. Walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away at the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you? Or any other electronic? No. I kinda stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? What did your modded eyes see? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine.
Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details straight. My head is... But if my exact route would help, the cams probably... What? What is it? Optics is what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard the noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. Oh, more art color changes. Oh my god, it's so cool. I was walking back at first. But at some point I must have started running because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't. You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, straight facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway, I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought we'd been robbed, or she had fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw the gun. The gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? Well, this is horrifying. Yeah! Yeah! We're getting to this part in Ace Attorney whenever I get back to that, because we just got to our first time actually working with a client. So we haven't gotten to that, to this aspect of it, but yeah, this shit sucks, bro. Why is everything you play sad? No! Wait a minute! Oh, what do you... Oh no. I was about... Everything I had to list. The best I could come up with was Dark Souls. Jesus. This shit was the make better, cheerful, fun games. Whatever.
Gotta save the chief's sister and bring the chief's murderer to justice. Yes. Yes! Yes, yes. In Ace Attorney. Yes. They all have happy endings other than... Yeah, they all have happy endings as far as I know. I assume this will have happy ending. What? Pick it up. I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of all evidence by checking your phone. If your client notices that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. Oh, look at her! Look at the friggin'... Look at the cute card. She looks like Etna, bro. It's so cute. It's so cute. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, and we know because... I don't remember. I keep getting distracted by the art. And also 100% a skunk walked by. And it was incredibly distracting. Fingerprints. I mean, that is usually what is. Thank you, chat. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking, I was just... Carlos? All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun. But not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun... So stupid. I know what a gun looks like, but seeing my own home right in front of me... You are in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they also assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... Right, it's just that... It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay, let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things.
Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Shouldn't she have, like, said... like, told him to say how he would describe the room before she showed him how they had it? Because then he would be more likely to... or less likely to imprint whatever they said. Whatever. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? Nah. What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. Bro, she's trashing this. It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing is pretty good, considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. Say things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down, so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Her what? Her what? Her fidget tubbies! Oh my god, they're so cute! Holy shit! Oh my god! They're so cute! Her fidget tubbies. They're these collectible ceramic character things. Ceramic, that's insane. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters. She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging at half the time. I was so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room, that cheap, dusty, worthless... Okay. Let's say he did break her frigid duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the Heartbreak killings anyway, couldn't even bother to sweep them up, I felt so... Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that cycle that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge. A guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? The police have kept the victim's appearance far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow on the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. 4:04 a.m., June 5th, 2086. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. Smoking is a non-smoking area for a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It'll be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am, I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. He's so baby! I love him! I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well then, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Yeah, I can... Yeah, you know what, Carlos? I actually think we picked up on that. Could have fooled me! What I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only... No, the state's more like... the house. You mean like... the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. Calling it now. Morgan's going to get him off, but the identity of the Heartbreak Killer will be an ongoing mystery throughout the game, just like the Mullen Judgment. Twould make sense. Twould follow. Just like that horror movie, Twould follows. So, what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can, win more hands than we lose. Keep it up, and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. and then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy? What's up? You know there's a saying about gamblers with strategies? Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. The district attorneys have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair, since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials. And they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. I'll eat you. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession? Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. No, don't bring up my Vegeta paint-by-numbers that I still haven't finished, even though I got it like a year ago. See, we found a note at his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. Oh my god, she's so hot. But I've been building up my hand all night. And now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for... Analyze the facts as they've been laid out, then review the responses in your hand. Select the card that best answers the argument and place it into the slot on the right. You must mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder on what key points you're answering. Her little thing is so cute! Ceramic crap near western window. Weapon linked to violent crimes. What am I doing? Oh, I matched. Oh, apology goes to the debris. Because it's the thing that he was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? Yeah, it's fun, yeah. I found myself asking that exact same question. Win your first hand! Beginner's luck? What are we looking at here? Oh, this is so jaunty. Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data? Yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? I don't know. Why are you staring at me? The lady at that garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the whole time I try and thrift shop on my own. The one time I try and thrift shop on my own. Oh, so it's like plastic or whatever? Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? You weren't wrong about the Australian accent getting ever. It's infectious. I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget tubbies. Fidget tubbies. Oh my god, I can't say that word that many times. What he said. Mr. Flat broke. Mr. Flat. YouTube Shorts moment. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. And we can all plainly see that there's a ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle too. You really gonna claim you sat down to write an apology for breaking your toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. There sure is. What's the prompt? I need the prompt pack. Okay. I know that they were destroyed earlier. He said that he destroyed them with the arm. A dusty okay, so it's gotta be that. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Ah. Ooh. One swipe of your fingers should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. She's so funny. Whatever. I love her so much. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it... Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed. Because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that'd log the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. It said that rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service! Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? What? That hasn't even been... Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? Thank you. Thank you. So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is sensitive. As an engineer, is right-handed. Because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? Shouldn't they know that? They know everything else, why don't they know that? So the reason why that note looks like asylum wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. Because if you had forgotten, I have the saddest life ever. I just thought it could be good practice. Oh my god, it's so easy. London's accent has consumed taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood. Yo, that's a bitchin' coat. Right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right. That coat is... What, you gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me, in her typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? God, look how cool it looks. I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoa. This is a powerful image. This is... Holy shit. He doesn't wear an extra small... Oh, it tells me what the... Oh, it won't even let me.
Gee, Carlos, do you?
No. Yeah, sure there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention? An evil twin.
No, I'm afraid not.
Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. But going there now, without hard evidence? I can look at, what evidence do I have? I don't think I have evidence of... Oh, you're the pill organizer. The case's glass are surprisingly difficult to open. Are you... Wait. His arm doesn't... The ceramic crap is from the dolls. Yeah, his... I'm pretty sure you just say rather than raise this. The medication for his prosthetic rejection pain is in a container that is hard to open. This man's life is so fucking sad. Holy shit. Let me out of here. Let me out of here. I can prove a third party. Yeah, but I don't... I have no evidence of a third party at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. Cool. I did hear my perfect son mewing, so it's at least dinner time for him soon. So I will have to wrap up soon. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like... Psst. Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. She did. We've got a third hair color on her now. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it wrong? What was it that reminded me of? What was it that it reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought about it. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proving your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. There's no residue on it.
Now I'm envisioning the truth as a skittish little animal and Morgan bending over with a treat in her hand going pss, 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 pss.
And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. Like scent. Like I'm a genius. Happens to be key here. I just happen to draw their attention to what they can smell. Feel. See. Well, would you be able to smell the gunpowder? You could probably smell it more than you could see it, right? Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Huh? Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's serving. Huh. No gunpowder. Let's go, white boy! Actually, I have no idea if you're white. Great call, Joy. Yeah! What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. Yeah, it's unclear at this time. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure, sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talk my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one? It'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your nose, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible. But it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Dumb bitch. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? That'd be silly. In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say I'm now overconfident and I'm going to be fucked over for it. Did she get a message? They updated the goddamn autopsy report? I can't... Spoilers, so I won't, but... Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling shit out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. Oh my god. That's a bold bluff for this late in the game, Detective. Especially when we both know that there was an optics blackout during the shooting. Well, that's just it. This isn't from optics. Oh no, I lost. I should have figured she wouldn't make a claim that bold without something to back it up. Well, listen. Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well... Okay, the quality is lacking. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit... blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting, but if their phone was on, its camera would be on, and so we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looked like it's from another century. There are tools that can enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. It's the wrong hand, guys. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image, and there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right, we couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know had their left hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. Listen, Noria already solved that part. We know he couldn't have shot that. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent, I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent, that photo is real. If both are true, then that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. Oh, yeah. Once we get further in Ace Attorney, we happen to have the exact shot of the murder is such a common... Then that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words. Never. She's so me. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly? Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter. Oh, it was through a mirror. Oh, right. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken from across the north window. From the north. If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide. They're telling me to this time. They can't... I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? Left-handed shooter isn't that much of a dead giveaway. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? What the hell do we mean? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARGS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And you can now raise the ante on a hand and up to the current max. Answer wrong and you lose more credit, but answer correctly and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken from the west window. As long as you consider oh god. Are they actually gonna make me Are they actually gonna victim's blood on sleeve, nothing else of note. Cheap, durable. Not even a scratch. Murder weapon linked to... I guess it's this. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. Yeah. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seemed like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. What it was the... He's right, the time of death could be wrong. He's wrong, the time of death is correct. Yeah. I should be able to check the photo? Probably, yeah. I hate looking at things. Okay. Data recovered, blah 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 blah. Because the camera is not set in the time, the amount of limited file markers for post photo has already been cleaned up as best as possible. So this is the best we're gonna get from it. Okay, it said 9 and yeah, I don't see what's wrong with the time. I don't see why that would be like That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer's no. I won. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistaking that. So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style. And it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but Do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slipped my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. But that's my favorite thing to do. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that that clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting. You got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fall. From mirror broken at crime scene, shards fell onto the victim. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. Oh my god, look at her face! She's so hot. This also means there was a struggle after the victim was killed, but before Carlos showed up, assuming he's telling the truth and didn't bump into the killer. Okay. I gotta wrap up soon. Only that they're on top of the victim's body and not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? Nope, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective! But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from the north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, Detective. Excuse me. That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You've played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. It's gay. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... Oh, the mirror. Yeah. Holy shit. My fucking son's trying to scare the shit out of me. I promise. We'll stop soon. What is that? You trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And, as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, whoa! My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting, and instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. Whoa! That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nerve system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it, minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? My client wouldn't have had time. Woo. Well. She bad. Same place he had that gunpowder residue. Any objections? Detective? God damn it! Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Show me a hand flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Bring down the house. Prove your client's innocence. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Haha. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective. Lost my train of thought. But hey, Yatani's a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Bro! He totally is Australian. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Thanks for the solid. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the assist. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin, and then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer... It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen to anyone. People die of the flu all the time, but... I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So... what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. Can you come hang out with us? You wanna work with us? Hey, do you wanna work with us? There's some contacts I could give you. Mine. Services, professionals. The safest time in human history. People die of flu all the time. Doctors. No, you've done enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. To try and convince him that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos. But it's my job to. No, I mean... Thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Huh? Wait. Suddenly, the title of the game is making more sense. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular, universaler meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. 8:59 p.m., June 4th, 2086. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, coming off of Phoenix Wright, this would be like if we were like, no, Larry didn't do it. He did not kill that woman. Great. We killed that woman. Well, I was wrong about the ongoing mystery dimension to the game. I guess? Maybe I'm Are we Dextering it for the rest of the game? She's still hot. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo is almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Me? 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 Moping around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend, back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey. Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably aroused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places usually full of trash, but this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration, and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with a single shot? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain. From a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no. That's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. Feel better? That he got rejected one too many times, or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. They're not subtle. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. 5:01 a.m. June 5th, 2086. Holy shit, dude. Sorry, using my leftist though. That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic I'm so... Bro, that was so much so fast. Holy shit. Oh my god, this is supposed to be a short stream. I swear to god, at like the 45-minute mark, I was like, I don't know if I can do an hour. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Okay, well at least like we're almost... This is the prologue! What the fuck? I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, and did some stretching. Made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough doubt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. You don't take all the money and run, you take a little of the money and walk, and one of the thieves from Hogfather paraphrased. Yeah! Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same, too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. She was talking about me when she was saying his looks are distracting. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. She's so cool! Holy shit. She's so cool, you guys. Oh my god. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane's grateful too. Ooh. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Jesus fucking Christ, woman! Holy shit! Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but... But I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. Present evidence. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. It is just like Ace Attorney. You have to convince him his girlfriend liked him. Only this is like if Phoenix Wright had murdered her. Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. What in the... Where did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped to her hand when she died. Oh god, this is about to make me so sad. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. Phantom pain. Any story about phantom pain, I find it so fascinating. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasts, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. Oh my god. To my eyes, anyway. Show Carlos what the victim was holding. 5:01 a.m. Isn't that the exact same time we were just in? No. Holy shit. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I bet we will. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? Because he was hot? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody, there's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever found you. Holy shit, dude. District Attorney Rockford. Is this like Detroit? Holy shit. Is that the kid? Fucking shit, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried.
By all means.
Ugh. Counselor Morgan, morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together.
Thank you. I don't get it.
How do you sleep at night?
Pardon?
You do white noise, aromatherapy. Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God, I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford.
She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, which I'm always a fan of, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once.
Oh, haha!
Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom.
Wow, this is so different from an Ace Attorney game. A prosecutor who can, like, keep their shit where it belongs. Holy shit.
It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read.
Should I buy a new mattress?
What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma?
Oh, well, actually I'm here for you.
Me?
Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case.
Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me.
No? Why would I be worried about going up against you?
It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives?
Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes.
They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial.
Oh, in preparation for trial.
Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious.
I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little.
It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind.
So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Huh, hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind.
I should have looked to see how long this is. I gotta eat something, y'all. It feels like it's gonna end soon, but... Okay. My clock says 33.
So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all.
Oh?
Oh god. Can I... Where's the save? Save the game. Save the game. Double save the game. I think we're gonna end there, because I need... I don't know how long this game is. This is only chapter 0. And I gotta eat. Alright. Holy shit. So... I'll come back to this, finish out this one, and maybe start the next chapter. Well, our protagonist is a mass murderer. Wonder how they're gonna top that going forward. I'm so excited to find out! I genuinely didn't see that coming. This game is so fun! And I definitely need to continue Ace Attorney because it's like there's a lot of one-to-one, like, aha, this is in conversation with the systems in Ace Attorney. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I don't think I have, yeah. Good night, everybody. I've been the Joy Beyond the Void, and this has been gaming.